Would a tyre war make F1 better? Now, not since 2006 have we had what I said was a tyre war, and that was between Michelin and Bridgestone. 2006, and it's now 2023. We are fossils. The question that we are going to be asking ourselves today is, was it better back then, the good old days, or is it better now with Pirelli? So we put a vote to you on Twitter, and 68% of you said yes, you would like to see another tyre manufacturer join F1 alongside Pirelli. Would we like to see it? That's the big question here. And I think I'm part of the 32% than the 68%, because as much as it did provide an element of, will Michelin or Bridgestone get it better for this particular track, or will it suit this particular circuit better? I don't know. It just didn't feel like a level playing field in some respects. And then you had sometimes the Bridgestones were unbelievable, and other times the Michelins were amazing. So I know that variables in Formula One can create a good amount of drama, but I like the fact that it is Pirelli and Pirelli only, and that they can just provide tyres to all the different teams. Otherwise, it just creates another element that newer fans will then struggle to understand at times as well. And simplifying the sport is better overall when it comes to the growth of Formula One. So for me, just have it as Pirelli, maybe have them degrade a little bit more, and that's your lot.
Yeah, I am also of the opinion that I don't think it's what F1 needs right now, particularly in this whole budget cap era where, we're sat here complaining that the Red Bull are absolutely miles ahead. But I've been, I was speaking to my father-in-law about this, and he was like, God, the F1 grid's so close. I can't believe that, it's a second, because you're just so used to, way back when, even in like 2006, a second was sometimes a gap between two cars, never mind the whole grid. So Red Bull, yes, are dominating, but the actual margin is not a huge amount, and then the rest of the grid are really kind of close. So I worry that if you introduced a new tyre into the mix and 1 week the tyre was just 4 or 5 seconds off, yes, you might get a fun little narrative that maybe 1 week like a Mercedes are really bad or a Red Bull is really bad, and then next week they'd be 6 seconds clear of the field and it'd be a bit boring. So I just don't think that is the right way to go at the moment, when the whole point is them closing up the entire grid, and it is actually getting quite close.
Mr._Steve Morris, Bridgestone versus Michelin was another dynamic that made things unpredictable. And I agree, sometimes it was. Sometimes the Ferraris were quicker on the Bridgestone, sometimes the Renault was quicker on the Michelin, and you did have this titanic battle between Schumacher and Alonso way back when. But I'm still of the opinion that it's an unpredictability that Formula One doesn't need, in my opinion. It's just one of those that the variation should be, the team's gone on mediums or the team's gone on hards. And I'm still, very much of the opinion that it would just add another level of complexity to the sport that just isn't needed. I think Pirelli is the right way to go. As I said, I think that there needs to be the option of more two stops for sure. That is the sweet spot for me. And we've discussed it before, haven't we, Tommy, where should Formula One have a mandatory 2 pit stop sort of rule? And so you have more of a strategic element to the race. That I'm more in favour of than having an additional tyre manufacturer.
Yeah, because the Bridgelin and Michelstone era, yes, the Bridgestone and Michelin era was, you kind of had that battle in 2006 between Schumacher and Alonso, where it was quite close and it was good, but you could get the difficult situation. So for me, the one that stands out is 2005. Won't talk about America yet, but 2005 in terms of just the season, Ferrari were on the Bridgestones and they were very good. And now, don't get me wrong, even as a Red Bull fan, I would like them to be more in the mix and closer. But would it be fun And, I'm sure people will banter and go, yes, it absolutely would be. But would it be fun for Max Verstappen to just not have a car that he can even do? Like, I don't think people want to see that. I didn't even want to see that when Hamilton was winning. They pegged Mercedes back a bit, but we got a great battle between Hamilton and Verstappen. But Michael Schumacher in 2005 just couldn't even compete. And it's like, is that really fun? I don't think that's good for the sport.
Next comment from Shapark_Jax. 2 would be fine, but once the top teams show a preference for one over the other, all the other teams will follow them. So you're effectively back to 1. Now, I don't know if it would be different in this day and age of Formula 1, but I don't seem to recall teams flopping and changing between Bridgestones and Michelins. It was almost very much they are part of this team and that's it. You didn't see Ferrari going to Michelin tyres, for example. It was very much Ferrari and Bridgestone, and they try and make it work.
Super partnership, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think, again, if that was the case and this is the direction they went in, that it would be a chopping and changing and, whichever tyre you want this week. It wouldn't be like that.
No.
At Rannick One and Only. I remember the 2005 US Grand Prix. Please, not again. Now, for those that are wondering, what is the 2005 US Grand Prix? It was a long time ago, but it was a time where the Michelins could not handle the Indianapolis circuit, where they were simply failing. I think it was Ralf Schumacher went in at a ridiculous speed round the long right-hand bend of essentially half of the Indy 500 track, basically, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then they went into the infield section. But yeah, so they had to run the race with 6 cars, which was a fascinating fight for the win between Michael Schumacher and Rubens Barrichello, which, to be honest, not far dissimilar to what we'd been used to for the years prior to that anyway.
Yeah. I mean, unless I'm completely missing something here, is having a tyre war... Did having a tyre war cause the 2005 US Grand Prix fast, or was it just that one of them didn't make tyres that were suited and you had a problem? Because if you didn't have a tyre war, or you could have quite easily not had a tyre war then, and the whole grid were on Michelins, and then no one would have raced. So I don't get the argument of like, if you get two teams, we'll have a 2005 US Grand Prix situation again, because Pirelli could quite easily do something wrong where the tyres explode, and they have quite a few times.
Yeah, Silverstone
Baku comes to mind, Silverstone comes to mind. So yeah, I don't think the 2005 US Grand Prix is to blame for like just the fact that there's a tyre war, but that doesn't mean that I want it. No,
and also they could have just added a chicane, but they said no to that one, didn't they? Old Ferrari, they were not fancying that one.
Yeah, I think the one for me is still the double 2 pit stops. You have to run soft, medium, and hard tyres during the race. And actually, now I think about it as well, if you did, then it would kind of cover a bit of strategy element to the red flag rule as well, because you wouldn't have just had your mandatory pit stop. You'd have to do another one.
Yeah, exactly. I'm completely of the same opinion. If they really want to, in some way, manufacture drama and entertainment, that's the way to do it in a more sporting way, where I'm actually not against having 2 stop mandatory, soft, medium, hard, all need to be used at some point. That would, on one side of things, probably make it a little bit more confusing for people to watch, because you have these 3 different compounds to be using, and if you are a standard fan that just tunes in on a Sunday, it might be a little bit hard to keep up with. But then that's the job of the broadcast, to make sure that it is as easy to understand as possible. So yeah, I think that's it. I think we are literally fixing Formula 1, Tommy, if they listen to us. 1-shot quali in Q3. Yes, please, everyone back it. 2-stop strategy, 3 different tyre compounds. Let's go. Thank you for listening or for watching, and we'll see you very soon for another piece of content. Bye!
Bye!